in here. One of the microphones is very loud. Okay, so as we're doing songwriting, we can come from like different perspectives. And today we're just going to look at something that everyone can understand. You don't have to be a top musician or anything like that. We're going to look at, basically, we're going to use 3 chords to write the song. And I thought, as we have half an hour, I'm going to get up maybe 2 different chord progressions that I can talk about. And then we'd look at ways just how in a songwriting scenario you would approach it. And like, what's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. And obviously, there is no wrong thing to do. The way that I do songwriting would be very different.
Sorry, I'll have to interrupt you. There's something with a microphone.
Yeah, someone's microphone is too loud. Do you think everyone could have a go at muting their mic? Thanks, Timo. It's not Timo. Ah, that's someone. So someone's mic just then is the one that's making all that fuzz. Maybe we can turn on our mics when you want to say something. That's probably works best. And then we'll figure out as well who it is. Okay, cool. So we're going to look at just 3 chords, and it's going to be the first chord, the 5th chord, and the 4th chord of the scale. And we're going to be in C major. So the first, of course, would be C. The 4th, of course, would be the F. And then the 5th would be the G. There's about a million and one songs that have got that exact same chord progression. If we do 1, 5, 4, you're going to go, you probably know this song. Yeah, I heard you got a new friend. I just went 1, 5, 1. Does he love you better than I can? 1, 5, 1. And then there's another 2 of those, and then it goes to the minor. This is normally the 2nd chord or the 6th chord. This particular song is the 6th chord, and it makes such a difference when you put in that minor chord now. Yeah, I know it's stupid, but I just gotta see it for myself. And then nothing special at all. All they do is go back to the 1st, 5th, and 4th. This would be the 1st. I'm in the corner, watching you kiss her. Oh, oh. And then the entire song just goes on 1, 5, 4, 1, 5, 4. So let's write something together. And we don't need to use any other strange chords really. We can just use the 1, the 5. Oh, that wasn't the 5, that was the 4. The 1, 5, and the 4. And I know it's okay for us to do this because you know, Mozart used to do it a lot. Chopin did it. Beethoven, Bach, 1, 5, 4, 1, 5, 4, 6, 1, 5, 4, 6, 2, and thing. The 2s and the 6 are those minor chords. So when I'm in C, if I was to go to the 2nd chord of the scale, if anyone that is totally untechnical, this might just go over you a little bit, but others who have some idea of scales, if I'm in C, if I go to the 2nd chord, it's going to be D. And because in the key of C, we don't have any sharps and flats, that means when we play the D, we also have no sharps and flats, and we're left with a really sad chord. Also in the key of C, instead of going to the 2nd chord, we can go to the 6th chord, which will put us here, which as well is really sad, especially compared to the major C major. So we can categorize chords in 2 ways, major and minor. The major chords are these happy, uplifting chords. of course, the minor chords are really sad and can be quite demonic. The way that I just put them there, they felt quite demonic. So these are different expressions that we have. You know, it seems obvious, doesn't it? When we're sad, we're going to use a sad chord. When we're happy, we can use happy chords. And for the most part, that's absolutely fine to do that. So if we're going to pick a song, if we're going to be in C major, we can. The way that I work is I would find my chords first. I would play them around a bit. So if I'm doing, I'll do C again. I find that like different ways that I play it would make me feel different things. So some people, if you're a real lyricist, you'll have all these ideas in your head already. Whereas when I write something, I really start with the music. I play it around and I see how that makes me feel. So I'm not going to just write a whole song. I would love for some people to give me some ideas, or if they think this should be a sad song or a happy song, things like that. And then together we can start building ideas. The thing about songwriting is I personally find there's only so much I can do by myself. When I'm with other people, I get an awful lot done. Normally because it's something to bounce ideas off and get like an immediate opinion. But this is something that's actually very, very difficult to do. Songwriting is a very personal thing to do. It's almost like, especially with a bunch of people who you don't know and like we've never met before, suddenly it's like, okay, tell me how you feel about the world and life and things like that, and that's quite difficult. But that's another challenge of songwriting, I think. The first sessions I ever did as a writer, I remember not really saying much and being quite afraid, and everyone's in the room like bearing all their feelings, and you get a sense of like, you know, it can be quite overwhelming. But that's something that you just get used to as a writer. It's sort of like turning up with a bunch of people that you don't really know and sort of getting your kit off and like showing who you are. That is how I see songwriting. It's very much like that. So in this forum, I think it'd be great if we could put some ideas forward. And the way that we can do it is, so at the moment I can see you all and I can see red mics. And that means that you're silent. So I guess if you want to speak, the best way to do it would be to do that. The equivalent of noise. Sorry, that's the equivalent of making noise. I was talking as I was continuing to do that. So okay, Timo. Oh, you got nothing to say. You were just trying it out. It does work. Thanks for testing it out, Timo. Timo is one of my students. He's a writer himself. He's not been ready to show me his songs that he's written, but I'm hoping. Okay, so we're gonna pick in C. I'm gonna go for the major key. Now, how am I gonna find melodies? Okay, I'm just gonna go around these three chords. So I'm in C, G, F, and it should sound very familiar to you all. Our ears naturally go to these places in the chord. That's why there's nothing extraordinary about them. So I could go and you could do anything. This would be like too much of a basic idea where I'm just sort of singing along with the chords, which is like a very easy thing that you can do. You just change with the chord. If you're gonna sing over it, it's a bit more difficult. You'd go So let's say I just pick that line. Da, ba, da, da, ba, da. I'm going to put it into a lower key because it is a little early for me to sing, to be honest. I'm going to put it in, it's in B flat now. So I'm going around C, G, and F, and to be totally honest, I didn't like what I just did. So then I'd just go again. Often I'd record it as well, so I don't rely on my own memory. I would put on a recording next to me, you just play. But also, I also find that that doesn't always work. You can have a lot of rubbish that you've just got hours and hours of it. And I find if I write something, and so I can't remember the last thing I just did, which means if I can't remember it, who on earth will? If I can't remember something I did 5 minutes later, then no one will. So that's also like a good meter to measure what you've done by. Okay, so I'm gonna have another go. And so this is C, G, F. If anyone has any ideas that they'd want to contribute anything, just flash your light. Sometimes you can get caught in the groove that you do as well. Sometimes if you step back from that, you can find another melody. So what I mean by groove is I would take the rhythmic part of it and change it. Same chords, but it feels different. I never want to leave, I never want to go. See, straight away that feels a bit better, and I only got there because I changed the rhythm. If I kept going, it would have been really hard. It's too muddy. As soon as I take it out, I never want to go, I never want to leave. And then the obvious thing is just to rhyme any old rubbish with it. For now. I made up my mind, don't you see? Okay, so we've got these 2 lines, and now it's just obvious, right? You're going to go to that minor chord. So we could go here. Oh, I tried listening. Whatever, then just do it again. Oh, but I couldn't hear a thing. I've just done 4 lines of absolute nothing. But to a punter, they think you've done half a song, you know? Of course, now finding a chorus is the hardest part. We say hooks. Now, there's a good reason why it's called a hook, just like a fish hook. A fish hook goes into the water and it hooks fish. Now, a song hook goes into our ears and it tries to hook us. If it's a good song, it's because it's got a good hook. And it could just be 2 notes. A doorbell's got a good hook, you know, or it could be three notes. It could be anything. There's no rule to it, but it's something that stands out, something that picks like grabs the ear and grabs your attention. So an example of what, like, for me wouldn't be a chorus if I just went what was that sad bit? I made up my mind. Sorry for my singing. I made up my mind. There's a bit of build up, and then you just go to the 1. That's where you'd go. You'd always go to the 1, normally for a chorus, keeping it safe. And it sounds like home. It sounds like the start of your chorus journey. I mean, that's not particularly hooky, but my initial shout was, oh, big note, go for a big note. Why not? That's what Adele would do, I guess. So that's the way I would think of it. But that didn't really hook, didn't really stay in my head. So what would I do instead? again, I think that rhythm's getting in the way of how I'm interpreting it, so I'll take that out. We could do the Taylor Swift trick. The Taylor Swift trick is where you just pick one note, basically, and you use that for your whole chorus, which would be that would be my one note. I don't know if you can hear that. I don't know if I can just come up with a Taylor Swift song on the spot for everyone right now. But she often would just pick one note, and that's called a pedal note. And that is a hook, because if you think a chord is changing around, if you've got a single note going, it sticks out. That wasn't a great example of it, to be totally honest. But this is something that Taylor Swift will do a lot of. She just sings one note, and it works, because as the key changes, it's the note that sticks out. And what's interesting is how you feel about that note would change as well. When you're playing it in a C chord, it's going to feel like at home. If you're playing it in the A minor chord, which is that sad one, it's going to feel like it doesn't quite belong there, and it's like a lonely note. That might sound a bit strange, but from my point of view, that's often how I work, because it's how the music would make me feel. Whereas with someone else, they might have a heartbreaking lyric, which they then go, okay, how does this make me feel? And then they'll match the music with that. But, you know, as I said before, there's no single right way of doing it. All I can really show you is different ways that I get around doing it. So let's have another look, think of a hook for a chorus. We don't just have a chorus, you also have a tag after it as well. Tags are the really, really easy bits of the chorus. Let's say that we pick a classic song. How about you'll know this, of course. Oh, there was a secret chord David played and he pleased the Lord. I'm in C again. But it doesn't sound very happy. I'm going. You can see straight away it's not happy. It's sort of got like a sadness in there. It's because I've gone to the minor chord, I've gone to the 6. Now, what's lovely about this is that pre-chorus. This is a real pre-chorus, but it's also the chorus. We call it chorus, pre-chorus. It feels like a pre-chorus because it's lifting up. And it's literally lifting. And what I like about this song is, in the lyrics, it explains what the chords are. Well, it goes like this: the third, the fourth, the fifth. Quite literally, it's the 4th chord and then the 5th chord. The 4th, the 5th. So that's the 5th, the F and the G. And then it goes the minor 4, which is the 6th, which would make it minor. The minor 4 and the major lift, which is, that's going to be your 4th again. It's that really home chord, but it's the G, it's the 5th. The powerful King composing hallelujah, hallelujah. Got the chords. And then this would be the tag in my mind. It's the chorus, but it's a tag really. It's the bit of the song which everyone can chant along. It's like the chorus tag. Hallelujah, hallelujah. That's not it. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Just on the 4th. Hallelujah, hallelujah. And it feels like it's gone home. But what I mean by that, I mean like it feels like it's come to an end after those chords. And like that's an internal feeling. You know when the song has gone to the 1st. You don't have to be a musician. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm figuring out it's the first now. Wow, it must be some sort of skill I have. It's not at all. It really feels like it's just gone home. It's just like a feeling, and this is what we explore more than anything when we're writing songs. It's, you know, it's the feeling, isn't it? Always. You know, I could tell you, oh, it's a 1-5-4, but you're not gonna follow that 1-5-4 if to you it feels totally wrong. It will feel right though. The 1-5-4 will feel right. Okay, so let's start with a minor chord. So if we're in a minor key, is this different? So let's say we're doing. Let's start from A minor instead. We'll do that. So that was a slightly different progression. I'm doing A minor. I should do A minor, C, G. That's quite nice. Or the F. A minor, C, F. A minor, C, F. Notice how we're basically still in C, right? Because I'm just starting on the 6th, going to the 1st, and then ending on the 4th. It doesn't really matter what way you look at it. It has a completely different feeling with the exact same chords. And that's like a sense of longing in there. As soon as I break up the chord, the feeling I get from that is like a sort of tumbly feeling, sort of like lost, sort of like a, yeah, it feels very lost to me. Okay, so already I like that. I like that a lot more than the thing we had before. That feels a lot more emotive to me. And all I'm doing is playing an arpeggio in that A minor. Arpeggio is when you break up the scale instead of having it. It's broken up. And then going down to that. That's nice. And then I will often find if I'm just jamming around, I might end up playing something in my right hand maybe, which I go, actually, that's a melody that I could use that. So yeah, so that could be a melody. Why not? Something people do a lot of when I do songwriting one-on-one with people, they'll show me their melody and it'll be like the most complicated thing I've ever heard. It'll be like, it's just way too much. It's just like all over the place. I'm like, chill out. That's often the case. Like if you listen to, like, I love Mozart. I'm a massive Mozart fan. I grew up playing a lot of his music as a kid. And what is absolutely true is, so I was a clarinet player and I absolutely loved playing his stuff on clarinet. It was incredibly difficult, but also really simple. It was like so simple. It was as if when you played it, it was like, it felt like it had been around for forever. Like it was never created by anyone. It's just like an expression. It's always just there. It's just music. And it's because it's so simple. It's like if if someone heard a doorbell for the first time, or an ambulance siren, it's like a sound that's always been there. Those intervals are just always there. So we use these in music. Why shouldn't we? I mean, this is like a million songs, I'm guessing, but I just wanted to demonstrate what I meant by the doorbell. And all I've done is just pick the same chords that we just picked. So Simple is key. Is the point I'm trying to make. So if we're in A minor, you go to G, and then we're in F. Oh my God! Look at the time already. It goes so quickly. So you can imagine writing a song with people. If you've got half an hour to do it with anyone, my last bit of advice is get it done, get it finished. I could sit here all day going, oh, I like the start of this song, and then by the end of the day I've written 20 verses. They're all as bad as each other. I could have just picked one and moved on, but most songwriters find this difficult. I don't know how many of you have written songs, but you might find that you've written 50 starts of songs and no finished songs. Hello, Michael.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I'm trying to.
So time flies, doesn't it?
Sorry?
Time flies, doesn't it?
Half an hour is.
Yeah, goes really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, as I said, guys, it would be great if you could do like a screenshot and then share it on social media, us at the London School of Music.co.uk. Sorry, us at the London School of Music, and then the hashtag LSM Online. If you could do that, that would be very much appreciated. Also, Olly is going to do a songwriting class next Saturday morning. If you guys are interested in joining, that's going to be a more extensive one, and then obviously you will have much more of it. We're going to share this video with you guys so you can replay everything and see what Olly has seen today. And we're going to send you all the information about the songwriting class on an email. Okay? Any questions? I guess there's a lot of questions, but probably the questions for Olly, probably better to save them for next week Saturday if you are going to participate. Thanks, Olly, again. You're brilliant as always.
Thank you very much.
Inspiring.
That was really interesting.
I try to cram in as much as possible for you guys in a short amount of time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was really good.
Oh, and by the way, Michael, it worked well. If someone wants to speak, they just flash their own.
Yeah, and then you can see who wants to speak. That's great. That's
use that forever, I think.
Great. So yeah, remember the screenshot at the London School of Music and the hashtag LSM Online. Very much appreciated. Thanks, guys, for participating. Now we have the next group. Have a nice weekend.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg. I'll send you the link for the drum class, okay?
Thank you.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye. All right. Hey, guys.
Hi.
Hello. Michael.